What's up guys, welcome to the video. With the release of NTE being right around the corner, I think it's time we had a discussion about its combat system. During my NTE review, I gave a very surface level explanation that didn't quite do it justice. So this time, let's take a deep dive into the ins and outs of the combat system. And then let me know in the comments below, has your opinion of the combat improved or did it just stay the same? Of course, information presented here is subject to change upon the global release. Alright, let's start off with the basics. NTE uses the character swap formula as the foundation for its combat system. The core of this system revolves around precise timings in building combos by swapping between your characters. Each team consists of 4 characters known as Espers, and every unit comes equipped with their own offensive toolkit. This includes a basic attack, a skill, and an ultimate attack. Some characters also have access to unique branch attacks or exclusive abilities that can be used in and outside of combat. While in battle, there are 2 main defensive mechanics you can use to avoid taking damage. The first is indicated by a red flash when an enemy starts an attack. When this effect is on your screen, you can perform a perfect dodge which grants a few frames of invincibility. Following this up with a basic attack triggers a counter attack known as a critical riposte. When it hits an enemy, it deals increased damage to the enemy's break meter. The break meter is the white bar beneath the enemy's health. Once it's fully depleted, the enemy is staggered, allowing you to deal damage freely for a short period of time. The second defensive mechanic is indicated by an inner circle aligning with an outer ring. During the brief moment they overlap, by pressing your basic attack, your skill, or swapping between characters, you'll trigger a parry, which can also be chained into a critical riposte. Parrying enemies also ties into a larger mechanic that's central to performing Esper Cycle combos. To the left of your health bar is the Esper Cycle meter. You can charge this meter gradually through dealing damage or by instantly charging it by parrying an enemy attack. Once fully charged, an eligible character in your squad will glow, signaling that they are ready to be swapped in to trigger a powerful Esper Cycle. Esper Cycles are basically elemental reactions that are triggered when swapping to characters of a compatible element. But to know what elements are compatible, we first need to understand the Esper wheel. In NTE, you have 6 elements or Esper abilities: Cosmos, Anima, Incantation, Chaos, Psych, and Lakshana. Only Esper abilities positioned next to each other on the Esper wheel can cause reactions with each other. Take for example the main character, who is the Cosmos element, and Mint, who is an Anima element character. Since these 2 elements neighbor each other on the Esper wheel, this means they are compatible for an Esper cycle. So in combat, when my Esper Cycle meter is full, swapping to Mint will trigger an Esper Cycle, and Cosmos and Anima will react together and cause Blossom. The Blossom reaction will summon a Levinstorm, a pea shooter that fires targets, dealing area damage. Every element on the Esper wheel can cause reactions with adjacent elements. Anima and Incantation will cause Hex. This triggers extra follow-up damage when attacking with an Anima or Incantation character. Incantation and Chaos cause Scorch. Scorch will inflict tick damage over time to the marked target. Chaos and Psych react into Nova. The target marked with Nova will receive a large burst of damage after 5 seconds. Psych and Lakshana will stain the target, causing them to take more Psych and Lakshana damage. And Lakshana and Cosmos will cause Remora, slowing the target's movement and attack speed. On top of that, every Esper character has a unique Esper Cycle passive that enhances these reactions. For example, these 3 Anima element characters all enhance the Blossom reaction between Cosmos and Anima in their own unique way. Nanali can fire more projectiles from the pea shooter, Mint can expand the projectile's damage area, while Ju Yuan can spawn additional pea shooters and increase the total limit allowed on the field. A normal Blossom reaction between these 2 characters would usually look something like this. But a Blossom reaction now enhanced by multiple characters would look something like this. More Levinstorms are created and can now fire multiple shots in an AoE range because of the multiple enhancements. But beyond boosting a single reaction, you can actually combine 2 reactions together to create a trio reaction. For example, Charge is activated when Blossom hits a target that's already marked by Remora. Charge allows the on-field character to build their ultimate faster each time the pea shooter deals damage. And then there's Discord. This is triggered when a target is affected by both Nova and Scorch at the same time. When Discord is inflicted, it reduces a large portion of the enemy's break meter. But these elemental reactions alone don't govern the flow of combat. Every character has their own respective kit and all play in their own unique way. Every single Esper you obtain falls into one of the 3 categories: damage dealer, buffer, or survivalist. Each character's playstyle is defined by their sub-role, which determine their function and how long they stay on the field. For example, characters like Natalie, a main DPS, benefits from staying on field and dealing consistent damage over time. Casting her ultimate summons a small avatar that attacks alongside her, dealing what's known as follow-up damage. On the other hand, characters like Hathor, a burst DPS, spend much less time on field. Her ultimate allows you to consume special feathers by repeatedly using her skill, utilizing her bike to deal a massive burst of damage before rotating out. You also have other damage focused roles like Baitong, who specializes in dealing bleed damage over time, and Daffodil, who focuses on dealing increased damage to the enemy's break meter. Then, of course, you have classic support roles, characters like Edgar, who deploys healing zones, and buffers like Haniel, who provide team-wide buffs through the use of her skill. But one of the more interesting sub-roles is the Instant Cycle. Currently exclusive to the main character, this sub-role instantly fills your Esper Cycle meter upon using her skill, allowing you to immediately Esper Cycle into Anima or Lakshana characters at the very start of the battle. Every character has their own unique skill set, so be sure to read the descriptions and understand how they fully work. Now when it comes to the combat skill ceiling, there are some more advanced techniques like quick swapping, but personally I don't think it's all that necessary. The bosses are generally easy enough for casuals like myself to be able to clear harder content. But if you find yourself struggling, there are some built-in safety nets that can assist you in the middle of battle. For example, when you're challenging the high-risk anomaly commissions, if you're falling behind in damage, the game will actually send in an Esper to help you clear the floor. While I've heard this setting can be turned off, it's a clear indication that the developers are trying to please both the casual and the tryhard players. This keeps the barrier to entry on the lower side. And that about covers NTE's combat. Now I'm sure some of you might be thinking this is just another rotation-based combat system found in a bunch of other gacha games. While on the surface, I do see your point. Maybe something else in the game will click for you. There's plenty more here beyond just the combat. And that's all I have for now. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment on your take about the combat system. That said, I'll see you guys later, and peace out.